Welcome to Envisioned Broadcasting Radio, EB Radio. EB Radio. Your station for empowerment presents Mom Boss Talk Radio, a show that brings real life, real moms, and real experiences to empower mom bosses everywhere to be ambitious, highly driven, fierce, fabulous, and fearless. Mom Boss Talk Radio begins now.
Welcome back to Mom Boss Talk Radio. And it is another amazing, and I say amazing Thursday. Super excited that it's both of us today.
Yay! Yes, I'm super excited as well. I think this is going to be, just like all of them, an amazing episode because I was thinking to myself, like, are we actually asking ourselves the right questions while we're going through this journey of entrepreneurship, right?
Mm-hmm.
So that really got me, diving deep into like my own, business and, my own self. And it's like, am I asking myself the right questions? And do I have the answers to these questions? And if I don't, can I find the answers? And I'll give you a perfect example of a question, right? Do I enjoy my own company? Like, and I'm not even talking about, and I'm talking about not only, own self, like self-love, but I'm also talking about your business. Like, is this something that's bringing me joy? Do I have to, I'm asking myself the big question, like, what is the motivation for me doing what I'm doing? Because a lot of times I think we jump into things not really seeing the full picture, right? Or even having like an inkling of what we really want to do. We're kind of just diving head first. And that's why I'm like, it's important to ask yourself questions. Do you find yourself asking yourself questions?
I do. So I think I've always felt like questions and asking yourself questions are very, very important. It has always been an important part of my journey because I feel like when we ask ourselves questions, and I think it's an everyday thing, it allows us to assess where we are and then where we're trying to grow. And, if we're going to be honest, it really encourages us to explore and discover things about ourselves. So it can help us in so many different ways in finding solutions to our problems and exploring new ideas. I can tell you that just in my goodness, on this whole growth journey and, when I stepped into entrepreneurship, the questions like that has been a really important part is, like you said, not just asking questions, but taking the time to answer those questions and then taking action. For me, it has really helped me grow from a personal growth journey. It has helped me become aware of my beliefs, my feelings about things. It's made it easier for me to really make those big decisions and make better decisions so that I can really create the life that I really, that I want, that I desire. And I think that, although it's like, oh yeah, we should be asking ourselves questions, do we really, do we really find ourselves, or are we asking the right questions? Because I think that is key too, if you're asking yourself questions, are you asking the right questions? And what is your process for asking questions? So I think it's important, and it goes across whatever industry, whether you're an entrepreneur, whatever you're doing, it's important for us to ask questions. I feel like, just thinking of as far as a mom, we are so quick to ask our kids questions and, about different things, to help them really discover and learn on this journey. But we really need to be, honest with ourselves and having those moments where we have a list of questions that we're actually asking ourselves every single day. So I'm super excited that we're actually talking about this because there are some questions that I normally ask myself like every single day. And I'll share those a little bit later. But yeah, I think it's so beneficial for us on this journey called life to be asking
Yeah.
ourselves questions and being honest with ourselves on the answers.
Yes.
you know,
The
so I
honesty.
think that's good. Yes, yes,
Yeah, and I think,
absolutely.
and I also think, like, with growing, because you're not going to know everything. And I think that's where you start asking yourself simple questions, especially if you're in an entrepreneurial space of like, okay, is this space for me? Start asking your questions about, okay, what are my true intentions with this, whatever industry you're in? Like, what am I trying to really, truly accomplish? Because you can create, a business plan, you can get templates. And of course, a lot of times if you're not fully understanding, like, how to create a business plan from scratch, you can find a template to walk you through it. And it normally will have questions that you basically can answer. But going in depth of like what is it that you're trying to overall accomplish,
Mhm.
to see the bigger picture, because a business plan is great. It's going to give you the best questions to get you funded. It can help you, it can lead you in so many different directions. But as far as like to encompass the big picture for your life, because you have to understand your business and your life is connected. Okay, whatever you're
Yeah.
doing with your business is going to help, elevate your life. So it's like the deep questions of like, okay, is this space for me? Is this something that I truly want? You have to really dig deep to figure out your purpose. And I think that's a
Mhm.
big thing, is purpose, and asking those
Yeah.
questions is important to get to
Yeah.
that clarity.
I think it
Mhm.
is too. I really do. And yeah, I think it's it's so 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 very important. And I'm gonna speak from just an entrepreneur side of things. Because if we have not gained clarity in our
Mhm.
journey, if we haven't gained clarity in, where we are and where we're trying to go, it makes it, I mean, it's a challenge. Like we're not gonna move anywhere. And a lot of us feel stuck.
Yeah.
And that's why. It's because have you asked yourself questions? So I'll be the
Yeah.
first one to be like, listen, we should always be asking ourselves questions. And let me give you some questions that you need to be asking yourself because I do this like on a regular. It is such an like there is so many insights and so many aha moments that you gain from asking yourself questions and not just asking yourself questions, but asking the right questions. It's so interesting. It makes me think about a story that I heard from one of my mentors and coaches and coach
Mm.
that said he mentioned that when he has like family time, how he has everybody at the table. And literally it is, so we think of like, oh, 21 questions and people are like, why are you asking all
Mhm.
these questions? But he literally has times where when all his family and friends get together, it's for asking questions, like to find
Mm.
out where you are on your journey, so that
Yeah.
and people may look at that like, well, how would you feel if you were sitting at a table and someone just started asking questions? I think we would probably feel some kind of way, but at the same time, when you're on that growth journey, and especially being the who my mentor and coach is, and how he's all about leadership, he's all about growth. I mean, you can just look at his resume and just see a long list of all the accomplishments and milestones. However, just being able to sit at the table and have somebody ask questions and really make you think about things. And I think that's what coaches and mentors do anyways, for us. But we need to be
Yeah.
really empowering ourselves and asking ourselves those key questions, you know, as well. But I was
Yeah.
like, oh, that's a really great idea because like when we come to a table, it's, we have a good time as family and everything else. But when you're on a growth journey and you have someone that really wants to empower you and help you on that journey, you need to be, you need to have someone that's going to help you really start
Yeah.
asking those questions. It's going to help you start that discovery and exploring who you are so that you can move towards the direction that you're wanting to move. So I want to give you guys the questions that I ask myself every single day. And I'll tell you, these questions actually came from another media, Lord. He's not in the media. I didn't put him in the whole media, and he's not. I'm so used to saying media mentors. He's not a part of media. He's not a media mentor. He is one of my mentors, but it's not in the
Yeah.
media industry. But these questions came from one another mentor and coach of mine. And let me tell you, because I was like, oh, these are good. And so I feel like they are going to help. These questions are going to help everyone out there, whether, I mean, it really doesn't matter what industry you're in. If you're an entrepreneur,
Yeah.
whatever you're doing, it will help you really, at least start somewhere with your journey of asking yourself those key questions. So these are the questions, and I have these questions that are in my planner. They're in my task manager, and I'm answering
Mm.
these every single day. So it's just
Okay.
6 questions. First of all, let me just say that it's 6 questions, and I'm going to just go through them really quickly, and then we can talk about them as well. So
Mhm.
one of the questions is, what do I need to do today? And that's something so simple.
Yeah.
Like, what do I need to do today? The second one is, who do I need to call today? Because for many of us that may be in the entrepreneur world where we're having to, prospect and everything else and reaching out to connect with people, there's always somebody that you need to be calling on. There's always, and even from the
Mm.
personal side, maybe there's some business that you need to handle. Maybe there's somebody that you need to call. There's always somebody that you can be adding to that list. Another
Yeah.
question is, what do I need to read today? What do I need to read
Mm.
today?
Yeah.
Maybe it's that article. Maybe it's, reading a chapter of a book that
Yeah.
you've been reading. The next question is, what am I looking for today? Now, this
Mm.
one, I was like, okay, that's good because, what are you looking for? What is it, at the end of the day, what is it that you're truly trying to accomplish? So, what are you
Yeah.
looking for today? The fifth question is, what do I need to listen to today? Now, for me,
Mhm.
often that may be, maybe it's some kind of motivational talk or something of that nature. Maybe it's something that you need to catch up on, a sermon or something of that nature. But, the fifth question is, what do I need to listen to today? And then the sixth question, which is probably one of my favorite ones, is, what am I going to do fun today? Because
Mm. Yeah.
we need to have a little bit of fun in our life, right? We need to have fun,
Exactly.
especially, all of us have children and families, and we need to be having fun with our families. So I really love those
It's that
questions. I
balance.
hope that,
Yeah.
yes, absolutely. I love those questions. I utilize them every single day. And I'm hoping that, they were shared with me, and I'm hoping that it'll be something that, you all may want to incorporate into your own life with really starting to ask yourself questions. And those are simple questions that we
Yeah.
can be
I
asking ourselves.
I love those because those are very, they're simplistic, but it has so much
Mhm.
power behind them. And it's like you can, um, once you ask those yourself, you're getting into a routine. You're getting into, a motivational type of routine. You're choosing your words. You're up there. You're going to do it. Okay. You're getting these questions. You know what these questions are going to be every day. They don't change up.
Yes.
And I love that because now you know, okay, this is what I need to focus on. And I love the balance of the questions. It comes, with the personal of having fun and the balance of, who do you need to call today? What motivates you?
Mhm.
It's a balance of everything. And I truly love those. And I need to start incorporating some of those in my day as well, so I can kind of get on a
Yes.
good trajectory. But I also found a few questions, and feel free to add these to your own planners, to your to your calendars, so that way you get into a routine of asking yourself questions, um, to kind of motivate yourself to move up. I think that's another good thing about
Mhm.
questions is they're going to change, especially specific questions. And the more that they change, it shows your growth, right? You're
Yes.
starting here on the question. I love it. I love it. So a few questions I have is one that's simple. What motivates you? What is motivating you
Mhm.
in this moment? Okay. And these are, personal questions for entrepreneurs. Okay. And I got them off of livecareer.com. That is the resource that I'm pulling it from. So definitely, you should check it out. Um, how do you generate new ideas? So
Mm.
like things that trigger you? What is something that, brings the ideas? Are you a night owl? Because I know at night, that's where
Yeah.
my ideas come through. Um, Another one is, do you believe there is some sort of pattern or formula to becoming a successful entrepreneur? See, the
Mm.
questions can be simplistic or they can get really technical. Okay. A few other ones. What is your favorite aspect of being an entrepreneur? So that way you can really hone in. You can start looking into entrepreneurship as like, this is wonderful. I love these particular things that comes with entrepreneurship, and that's what keeps me going. And also, what has been your most satisfying moment in business? Those wins,
I
those
love
small
that.
wins.
Yeah.
Yeah. I when I saw that one specifically, it's like, as we all know, entrepreneurship can be, has is a roller coaster. You know, a lot of people on social media like to, make it seem like it's just, all up, but that's not the case. There's going to be ups and there's going to be downs, and a lot of times it might be a lot of downs. But you also have to find in those downs, like what are the moments, the satisfying moments, in business that I absolutely love, and any down is worth. You know, I don't care what kind
Yeah.
of down I have, it is worth everything because of just those small moments. Seeing somebody smile, just getting a product or getting a service. So questioning, having these specific questions, and you don't have to necessarily use these. If you find others, that's wonderful too. Definitely, share it on our Facebook page. But if you find questions, hold on to them and see the progression over time with your answers. I think that's the dopest thing ever. Start.
I think it is too. I do
Mhm.
too. And I think that, if we really started to realize that when we're asking ourselves questions, or if we, start to ask ourselves questions, that it's important for success, it can help us on this journey. And so not just asking, questions, asking the right questions, and actually writing
Mhm.
it down. Because
Yes.
answering, asking yourself questions and then answering it, we need to start writing stuff down more. It's
Yep.
going to help you focus. It's going to help you, I already said, make better decisions, and
Mhm.
really help you identify the areas that you need to improve and really be more intentional. I think that right there is really key. And that has helped me tremendously over the years. But again, if you don't even start writing the questions, start asking the questions, start a list of questions that are, about specific topics or whatever it may be, whether you're an entrepreneur, if it's around business, if it's around personal. I always like to look at things in,
Yeah.
like the five key areas of our life. So, well, I mean, health and wellness, space,
Mhm.
finances, personal growth, development, relationships, asking, because even in
Yeah.
our relationships, we need to be asking questions. Questions are so very important. They're
Yeah.
so very important, especially on this journey of growing and developing. We need to always, and I say always, ask ourselves questions, and they help us
Exactly.
They help us develop better habits. I cannot tell you how, just in assessing, because it's really an assessment. You're evaluating where you are when you begin asking yourself questions. And so I can't tell you how much I have had to change things up. I've had to eliminate things. I've had to make some tough decisions, but it all started with asking those questions to help me on that journey. So I really
Yeah.
hope that, some of the questions that we've mentioned, hopefully all of the questions that we've given you
Yeah.
today, it will help you. I mean, I know it was a lot of questions that we threw at you today.
Yes.
The good thing about this is you have the option to rewind it back
Yep.
and
Mhm.
write it down. If you didn't catch the question, guess what? You can go back and write it down. Because
Yeah.
it's definitely going to help you. It'll be worth it to you to start writing those questions down and to start implementing them in your life today, not
Yeah.
tomorrow, today. Yes,
Yes.
yes. We're using them in our lives, and so we can tell you how asking the right question, asking questions has truly helped us. And certainly we've given you some questions. There are tons
Yeah.
and tons of questions that you can
And
be asking.
I can definitely add, if you are not sure of the questions you need to ask yourself, there's always Google, there's always Pinterest, but the best resource is finding and networking and finding, entrepreneurial groups, like we've always discussed, networking. Find groups and have discussions, and when you start talking to them, the questions will probably start, popping up in your head that you want to ask.
Yes.
And they may even have the answer for you, or they may even lead you in the right direction to find the answers. So there's tons of ways to get, to the questions that you want to ask yourself. So definitely look into
Yeah.
those. There's plenty of it.
I think that's why it's important to write it down, because you mentioned, as far as like when you
Yep.
go out networking and connecting, if this is your first time
Mhm.
going out networking, connecting, you may not know, like, what do I say? What do I, you know, it's
Yep.
okay to write down some questions, especially like, so when I think about what, because I mentioned my mentor, my coach, and like the first conversation that I had with my mentor and coach, guess what? Even though, even though it was questions that I was asking him, there were still questions I needed
Mm.
to ask myself. So, it's asking
Yes.
the right questions,
Mhm.
not just for ourselves, but also, for other people that we come in contact with and everything else. And again, I just go
Yes.
back to writing stuff down, writing it down. Think on paper. Think on paper. I can't say that enough.
Yes.
I cannot
I
say
agree.
that
I agree.
enough. Think on paper. It's so funny because I remember having a conversation with somebody, and I was like, "Oh, you make sure you write that down. Like, do you write down all of this stuff?" And the person, like, he was like, "No," and I was like, "What?" Like, I literally, I
Wow.
almost lost
Mm.
it for a minute because I was like, "Well, how are you keeping track of everything?" Like, and then of course,
Yes.
like we do, point it up to, your head. And I'm like, no, you cannot keep track of
Look,
everything.
I will forget in a heartbeat what was said and done. I'm like, I don't even remember what I had for breakfast this morning. So I'm like, I definitely gotten into a good habit of, I have sticky notes everywhere. So
Yes.
I've gotten into a good habit of writing things down, even if it's just, just jotting down. It's just good to have like a little notepad near your bed, a little notepad in the
Yes.
kitchen, somewhere, like one in the car, one in your bag. So that way it's like when those notes, even on your phone, just type it in your notes in your phone if you ain't got paper. Like there's ways to jot down your
Yes.
thoughts and your questions. Anything you can think of can go down. That's all.
Say that. And I gotta mention this because you just made me think about this. Do you know they actually have like sticky notes for the shower too? Like, I didn't even know that was a
Yes,
thing. 'Cause
yes.
So there's no excuse for being able to write stuff, down. Like, you can literally write stuff down everywhere, you know. So.
And it's funny that you say that too, because at night, that's where I get my good ideas, and then in the shower, that's where I definitely get my good ideas. And I'm like, now I'm scrambling to try to find something to write on, and it's like by the time it's like it's gone. So a shower sticky note, I'm gonna need to get it.
Okay, yes. Or if you are all about digital and technology, let me tell you, I would tell Siri, tell Alexa, tell whoever, I need you to make note of this, add this, because like you said, we forget. So we are saying all of this because we want you to know that it's so very important to ask yourself questions. Write it down. As a mom boss, we know that asking questions is essential for growth in our personal lives, in our business. It helps us keep an open mind. And that is the key to learning and developing all of these great ideas that we have, right? So I think that we're about to get ready to close this out. We're super excited to always come and just bring more stuff to you all, more great topics. If you have any kind of suggestions for topics that you want to hear us speak about, find the Facebook group. Please join the community and let us know. Like, we want to hear from you. Let us know. We definitely love being able to hear from you all. We appreciate your support. We appreciate you tuning in to the broadcast and supporting on the podcast. So with that being said, we already said that we make a point to ask questions every single day. And it's not just about work, but also, work or business, but also about our lives. Questions such as, what do I want to accomplish today? And what did I learn from yesterday? What did I learn today? It's going to help you really focus and drive you forward as a mom boss. So I don't know if you have anything else that you want to share. Do you have anything else to share with the people, Marietta?
Something, my last thought is just always be self-aware, always know you got this. You are amazing. Just keep hyping yourself up. Okay. That's right. We support you. We love you. You got family. Okay. In the mom boss.
Yes. So here's to everything that Marietta just said, and here's to asking questions, and here's to personal and professional growth, because we are mom bosses and we are fierce and fabulous and fearless. We're making moves. Until next time, y'all.
Thank you for joining us on Mom Boss Talk Radio. Follow each of the Mom Bosses on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. If you love Mom Boss Radio, visit the website at www.envisionedbroadcasting.com. We'd love for you to subscribe, rate, and give a review on iTunes. Until next time.